Well, it's getting dark. We're here in Portland Marina. That's Portland, and we've come here to test laser flares versus pyrotechnic flares. We're going to do two tests today. The first one, the boat goes out for 5 miles. We'll wait just outside the harbour, and then they'll approach, and as soon as we can see that flare burning, that's the range, certainly from sea level. And then the second one is a comparative one, so we'll be testing the laser flare alongside a pyrotechnic flare just to find out how they look. So this is what we're testing. This is the ODEO Laser Flare. It's got a series of lasers in there, and the head rotates so that you get these random flashes of the red laser light. It looks a little like this in practice. The reason you've got lasers all over the place is to get a 180-degree hemisphere of coverage for this, so that if you're sitting in the water, it's all over. So you'll see it on the clouds, you'll see it on the wave tops, you'll see it everywhere. Well, we're just outside Portland Harbour now, literally just outside, and we know our target boat is somewhere in the bay. They're going to reach 5 miles range, then they're going to turn it on, we'll motor towards them, and when we see the flare, we'll know the range. But they've just given us their position, so we know they're 5.2 nautical miles away. We're now motoring roughly in their direction. We're going to go into the cab now. We're going to find out when we can see their laser.
Cutlass Scimitar. Dave, can you just confirm that you've got your navigation lights off?
Yep, we're black sheep.
Thank you.
So we're now about 4 miles range, speeds up to 9 knots. Haven't seen anything yet. We're kind of expecting any time now we should get something. Well, we're just catching our first glimpse just off the port bow, 3.3 nautical miles. You can just see it here. They're just rising and falling on the waves. On the crests, you can see it very clearly. So we're about 2.2 nautical miles away now. We've been picking it up since 3.3. That was the first time we could see a little flicker of red in the distance. By 3 miles, you can see it really clearly. 2.2, it's there pretty much all the time. And it's got that random nature that they were after. They didn't want it to look like a navigation mark or like a port light or anything like that. So sometimes, the first time I saw it, it was like a solid beam, because we must have been in one of the vertical beams. And then again, it sort of flickers. So it has a genuinely random appearance. It is unmissable. There's nothing else out there that looks like that. So that's it up close. You can see it's not remotely dazzling. You know, if you had any concerns about blinding SAR pilots or lifeboatmen, certainly not the case. Yet you can still pick it up at 3 nautical miles, which is pretty impressive. It kind of twinkles like a star. Just kind of twinkles there. It could, I suppose, be confused for a bit of a port light, but the twinkle over such an extended period, I think, would, you know, make that an impossibility. And obviously, they can't do a different colour. It's got to be red. So this is what we've been looking at. This is the ODEO Flare, and you can see it's definitely bright, but it's not going to blind anyone. And you can see the vertical beams. Those are the things that are 1 nautical mile. The top of that vertical beam will be 1,000 feet up if you hold it vertically. Well, we've done our range test. We've got 3 miles. So we're just about to do the comparison test, which is, so he's going to fire a pyro. This is Nick Lunsdale on the other boat. He's going to fire a pyro. Coast Guard's been informed, 16's been done. So fire a pyro, 10 seconds later, the laser flare, so we can see them both together. So there's the pyro, that's 15,000 candela there. Obviously extremely bright, but you can see all that burning metal spewing out of the top. You wouldn't want to be downwind of it, or indeed using it. And there's the laser flare as well. You can just see it twinkling away. The good thing about the laser flare is you can turn it off and put it in your pocket. And it weighs less, and it'll stay on the shelf for 20 years, and you can just buy yourself some new batteries after 5 hours use, whereas the pyro will last about, well, under a minute. So it's for the next 4 hours and 50 minutes, the laser flare is going to be brighter. In freezing temperatures, and it's pretty cold, you can get up to 10 hours out of this one. The best use cycle is leave it on for sort of 3-4 minutes, then turn it off for 10 to 15 seconds, then turn it back on. When we were doing our range test, it was on for 45 minutes, and it's estimated that we lost maybe 10 to 15% of brightness in that time. So the good duty cycle is 3 to 4 minutes on, 10 to 15 seconds off. And you can do that for 5 hours.